When everything becomes cheap enough for everyone to win, no one actually wins. For years, no one could stand against China's rise. There was a production power that worked almost flawlessly. Cities that never slept, factories running day and night, prices getting cheaper every year. It was so impressive that Western companies stopped trying to compete and decided to move their firms to China instead. This was a machine that turned human labor into great financial power. But everything has a price, right? China's biggest advantage, producing everything cheaper, faster, and in greater quantities, has now become one of the things that challenge it today. Welcome to the Financial Historian. Here, money, power, and history intertwine, and nothing is as simple as it seems. China's journey is one where capitalism is pushed to its limits, a system that rewards growth, but where that same growth eventually harms its own future. So what happened? The world's largest economy, while trying to perfect itself, began to exhaust itself. To understand this, we need to go back to the beginning of the story. The Revolution of 1978. In 1978, Deng Xiaoping appeared and fearlessly said, "Becoming rich is not a shame. In fact, it benefits the country." These brave words changed China completely. The peasant class became entrepreneurial. Towns filled with factories and foreign capital began flowing into the country. Japan, the US, Europe, and many others. Everyone saw an incredible opportunity in China. Cheap labor, a large population, and a government dedicated to getting things done. China opened special economic zones where the rules were more flexible. No bureaucracy, no ideological barriers, and only one goal: bringing capital into the country and exporting goods. And this idea materialized much faster than expected. Shenzhen, once a small town, turned into a giant city in a short time. Everywhere wanted to be like Shenzhen and grow. Other cities entered a race to create their own financial boom. Over time, this race turned into a struggle to produce at even lower prices. Land prices, taxes, wages, all of these became cheaper. Everyone was growing, but no one was thinking about whether this would last long. What happens when the machine overheats? At first, everything was going smoothly. China's factories ran nonstop. Workers were competing with each other to come to China. Western countries were attracted by cheap products like $3 t-shirts and €250 phones. But after a while, the gears of the system began to spin out of control. Local governments took on debt to open workplaces and forced factories to produce even more. By 2015, China's steel production capacity had become greater than all other countries combined. This steel production capacity was far more than real demand could handle. When prices fell, factories still didn't stop. They accelerated even more. They thought, maybe we can make up for it with volume. But it didn't work. Involution. The wheel turning for nothing. The word involution has become popular in China in recent years. It used to describe students or workers doing more work for less pay. Today, it has become a word that describes the entire industry. Factories, companies, sectors, and many others. Everyone is trying to beat each other with lower prices. No one wants to make changes. No one is winning. Everyone is just trying not to go bankrupt. Solar panels, electric cars, charging stations, all of them have sunk into the same swamp. Similar products, thousands of companies. Same market, unlimited production. Similar products, thousands of companies, same market, unlimited production. The result? Profits disappear, inventories fill up, but production never stops. Because stopping production means losing, both politically and economically. In the end, overproduction and low prices in China. Today, China's solar panel systems find buyers below cost. Electric vehicles remain unsold. Inventories rise. Even giant technology companies are devouring each other in the face of declining demand. In 2024, while exports hit record levels, industrial profits fell by 20%. This isn't the fast version of capitalism. This is capitalism destroying itself. History repeats itself. This scenario has happened before: Britain, Japan, Rome, and many others. They all made the same mistake. Overproduction looks good in the short term, but in the long run, it destroys the system. China now faces the same test. Can it continue producing at this speed, or does the wheel need to slow down? But here's the real issue. The system that governs China today does not seem suited to slowing down the wheel. Because growth is not just about the economy, it also means legitimacy. People's loyalty to the state is directly proportional to the money in their pockets. Our final words, China's problem is not production. It's producing too much. An economy that exports products to every country in the world struggles to increase the purchasing power of its own population. And in the end, we see something clearly. Being too cheap is actually the most expensive thing. Because when a wheel forgets balance and focuses only on producing, it destroys